not? Why not? Why not? I gotta get like a phone holder too. Guys, I am so blessed and highly favored. Yo, drop a 7 in the chat if you blessed and highly favored today. Yes, 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 guys. I'm so excited for today's call. Man, you don't know how good I feel right now. I posted on my Instagram, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago, that when you're going through daily trivia, when you're moving, you're getting into a new apartment, you're buying a new car, you're traveling, like your life can get so hectic sometimes. And I realize, and it's good I went through that phase, I finally got settled in. Is because I realized really quickly that if we're not into our studies, if we're not diving deep into who we are, who we're becoming, and we're letting the outside world affect us, the world gets really weird, right? You start getting very emotionally uncertain. During the last few days, I'm not gonna lie, like I just felt like things weren't going my way. I felt like my business was going sideways. I felt like I was going up and down. I felt like I wasn't good enough. How many of you sometimes you feel that way? Where sometimes you wake up and you're like, damn, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm good enough to be a leader. I don't know if I'm good enough to make money in this business. I don't know, like how many of you feel that sometimes, Because that was me this weekend, right? I moved into my apartment on Friday and just been going from like getting furniture and going here. And it's been a crazy, crazy time. But guess what? I sat down and I was reflecting last night, and I was overwhelmed with gratitude. I started bawling. I started crying to see like, man, like I went from sleeping in my car like 2 years ago in Miami to now, y'all. I wish y'all can see this view I'm looking at the sports arena where the Heat play. I'm looking at the Miami Bay. I'm looking at people jet skiing on the water. Like what the hell? Like it's just so overwhelming. And here's what I realized. When you start feeling overwhelmed with the outside world, when you start feeling not good enough, you got to switch that paradigm. You got to switch that internal state to gratitude. I was reading The Science of Getting Rich. That's going to be my book. Bob likes Think and Go Rich. I like The Science of Getting Rich. But in that book, he talks about gratitude. It's like 2 pages on gratitude. And he says that gratitude is our lifeline between our creator and the goodness that he has for us. Okay, so what happens is God will bless us with really good things, and then we don't sit to be grateful for it. Not just say it, but actually internalize that gratitude. Like, have you guys ever felt so grateful that you feel like crying? Like you start tearing up, you're like, oh my gosh, how am I so blessed right now? Because that was me last night. Just looking at this beautiful apartment I just moved into, and I'm just like, damn, it's so crazy that, man, it's exciting. So I want you guys to know that when you're going through tough times and you feel like the outside world is controlling you, and like every little thing, like your brother can say something and you get mad, right? Your girlfriend or a client will get upset, and then you feel like your day goes to shit. Switch to gratitude and your lifeline will be connected. All right, let me go ahead and introduce myself, guys. My name is DeAndre Saxon, and I am a Bob Proctor Consultant. I work with the Uncle Bobby P. You might know him from The Secret. 24 years old, and I am from San Diego, California, but now I am back in Miami. As you can see here, ex-Miami, and Miami Patron is back in the cut, guys. I'm excited to be here and grateful to lead you guys on today's call. All right, so here's what we're going to be talking about. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're talking about becoming an effective leader. We're going to be talking about an effective leader. Now, I woke up this morning and I was debating, what do I want to talk about? Like, there's so much to talk about now because remember, I only do 1 call a week now. So I wanted to say, what do I want to talk about today? Do I want to talk about internal state, what happened this weekend? Or do I want to talk about leadership? And I'm not going to lie, up until about an hour ago, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But then I started diving into the material my clients are studying this week. Well, we're all studying about leadership today from Bob. And I was like, you know what? This is a really good topic. Becoming an effective leader. You know how you become an effective leader? By becoming an effective follower, right? I switched it up on you guys. Do you think that I'm going to talk about leadership? I am, but we're talking about becoming an effective follower because we're all following somebody. You guys might be following me. I'm following Bob Proctor. Okay. And then Bob Proctor, I mean, he's the leader of leaders right now. He's following the, God and like the people, I don't know who he's following, but he has his leaders. But that's what I want to talk about today is becoming an effective follower and leader. All right. So here's what we're going to do. All right. So what I'm going to do is for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to switch it over to Uncle Bobby P. We're going to be talking about the 7 levels of awareness and how your levels of awareness as a leader are very important. There's animalistic awareness. See, I'm back in Miami, right? And because when I was living in Colombia, I'm still learning Spanish, right? So a lot of the time I didn't understand what people were saying, but I'm back in Miami. And let me tell you, people are emotional. The average person, and it's not to be disrespectful, but the average person is in a very animalistic awareness level where they get so emotional. They're on the phone and they're cussing out this person. That, somebody, you're making a left turn in Miami and the dude starts honking at you, but you've had your signal on for half a block. And you're like, yo, what is wrong with you people? They're so emotional. That's called an animalistic awareness level. And then you have mastery, which is where Bob Proctor is at. That's where a lot of our leaders are moving towards, all right? So Bob's gonna talk about this really quickly. Then I'm gonna bring it back and we're gonna talk about how to apply this to levels of leadership. So without further ado, let me pass it over to Uncle Bobby P.
Considered the oddball in your family. You might be considered the one that's always screwing up. Don't let that control your thinking. Your past doesn't have anything to do with your future unless you choose to make it that way. This is vitally important we get this. Now, we went through this yesterday, so you could be looking at this and think, well, this is how we grow, but I have the awareness because I've had this success or something. No. You don't just go through this once. You go through it, you start over again. Then you start over again. Then you start over again. There isn't any finish line. We pointed out that your spiritual DNA is perfect. There's no end to your growth. Jane Wilhite taught me that one time. There's no finish line in personal growth. None. Now really think about this. So you have this desire, and why do you have this? Why does it happen? There's something inside of you. It's called your uniqueness. It's what makes you different than any other person on the planet. Yeah, you want to express this through uniqueness. It's something inside you that wants to come out. You want to get it out. You just want to get it out. And so you go to do it because the desire's strong. And see, the desire is the effort of the unexpressed possibility within, seeking expression without through your action. This isn't wants. This is not a want. A want is of a conscious nature. We see a nice car, I want that. A nice house, I want that. A nice suit, I want that. So we have these things we want. They're not desires. I want to get a certain position on the team. I want to win. I want to get a medal. These are things we want. We all have those. We're influenced by what's going on around us. That's not what we're talking about here. A desire is a want that you took seriously and you've planted deep in your psyche. I love the way William James put it. It's planted in the garden of your subconscious mind. Well, that desire's in there. Desire, Waddell says, is the effort of the unexpressed possibility seeking expression outside through you in the physical world. Well, you've got this desire. You want to express your uniqueness, but you've also got this damn paradigm. And it's saying, wait a minute, you think you can do that? Are you crazy? Come on, Bob, you don't even know enough. Where the hell's the money going to come from? This is all inner talking. You don't repeat this. Nobody hears you saying this. This is talking that's going on in your subconscious mind. And it is screwing up every opportunity. When you let your paradigm influence your thinking, you have disqualified yourself from anything better than you presently have. That is an absolute law. And you've all got this little voice inside talking. You say, come on, Alec, who the hell do you think you are? You're just Alec. I mean, you're not like Joe and Bill and all those guys. God, they're so gregarious, they get all the girls. You're just Alec. I'm saying that because I look right down and see Alec in front of me, but I could be Bob, because that's where Bob lived. See, that's why I can speak with such authority on this, because I lived there. It's not a fun place to live. That wasn't the real me at all. That was somebody's programming inside of me. Not my programming. I didn't build it. You may not be responsible for who you are, but I'm going to tell you something. You're responsible for changing it. The people that programmed you give you the very best they could with what they had. They couldn't give you something they don't have. Horace put it very well. He says, Nemo dat quod non habat. Freely translated, that means you cannot give what you have not got. Well, the people that programmed us couldn't give us what they didn't have. God, the programming that I was involved in when I was a kid, no one knew anything about doing better. Just get by. Feed them, for God's sake. Get them warm or something. And that was all that was required to look after a kid. Yeah, that 10 paradigm, it just talks to us. But the desire doesn't go away. That uniqueness wants to be expressed. But the paradigm pulls you back. And then you think you're going to make a breakthrough because you have heard that all you really require to change things, the only thing is discipline. That's it. God, I used to hate that word. Oh, did I hate discipline. You see, I was in the Navy, the Canadian Navy. The people that run the service detention barracks, or used to in the Canadian Navy, were British detention people. They were sadistic. And it was a terrible world I was living in. And you know why they were putting me through all this punishment? They said because I wouldn't do what I was told. They were going to teach me something about discipline. Doing what you're told, that's not discipline. That is a form of authority. That's a form of punishment that they were talking about. Discipline is giving yourself a command and then follow that command. That's not following somebody else's command. 90% of the world are following somebody else's command, and they're not living the way they want to live. It's got to be the way you want. Not the way your mama wants you to be, not the way your daddy wants you to be. What do you want to be? What's that desire inside? That's what it's about. Now, I told you I can talk with authority on this. I live the way I want to live. I don't live the way I think you think I should live. I don't live the way I think my kids think I should live. I don't live the way I think my wife thinks I should live. I never lived the way I thought my mother think I should live. I live the way I want to live. Now somebody will tell you that's a selfish attitude, Proctor. I like the way Oscar Wilde put it. He said, selfishness is not living as one wishes to live. Selfishness is asking other people to live as one wishes to live. Yeah. No kidding. Have you any idea how many people got that wrong? Discipline. It's giving yourself a command and then follow it. It's Bob saying to Bob, do this. And when the paradigm says you haven't got the money, do it anyway. But the paradigm says, you're kidding yourself, you don't know how. You'll learn how. Carnegie told Hill, the accumulation of great wealth calls for power. And power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But that knowledge does not have to be in the possession of the person who's accumulating the fortune. See, that was pointed out to me, the man that gave me this book. He said, look at this, and he turned to that part in the book. See, all I wanted was money. I thought if I had enough money, the whole world's going to be a wonderful place. Now, of course, I was wrong, but that's what I was thinking. I wanted a lot of money. I never had any money. I was always working from being in a hole. And he said, look at this. He said, why don't you go and get... I said, I don't know how. I don't know enough. I didn't go to school. I'm not very smart. And Carnegie, who was the wealthiest man in the world at the time, said the accumulation of great fortune calls for power. And power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But, a capital but, that knowledge does not have to be in the possession of the person who accumulates the fortune. Isn't that a hell of an idea, Terry? One of the biggest.
Alrighty. How'd you guys like that? Who would like to share? Let's open this up. I don't really do that too often. I would like to hear from somebody. Go ahead and click on participants. Raise your hand. I would love to hear what somebody has to what takeaway they got from what Uncle Bobby P said. Participant. What you'll do is just either type in the chat, just drop a 1 or something, and I'll unmute you. That way you don't have to click on participant and stuff. I would love to hear if somebody would like to share something they got from what now. Don't be nervous, okay. Who wants to be the first person? Who wants to be the leader and be the first person, right? Drop a 1 in the chat. All right, there we go. Tashana. Okay, Tashana, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Hello, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so what I got from this was when he said that selfishness is asking people to live the way you want them to live. I just thought that really resonated with me because sometimes, family, they push you to do things that they want you to do, but not really considering what you actually want to do for yourself, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that perspective. Amanda, go ahead, Amanda. Go ahead and share. I just unmuted you.
So I like when he said that discipline is not like following other people's commands, but it's following commands that you set for yourself. I was struggling with that this morning and I needed to hear it as far as trading. So I had my trading plan this morning, but I didn't stick to my trading plan. And that kind of messed me up, but I was glad to hear him say that, like, discipline is not about what other people want for you. It's about you, what you set for yourself. So thank you.
Awesome. I love that. That's actually the takeaway that I got as well. Guys, to be honest, like, I think it's easier to follow somebody else's command sometimes than it is to follow our own command. Like if your mom's like, yo, do the dishes, and you'll typically do the dishes if you listen to your mom's. But if you got your own apartment and you've been telling yourself for 3 days to do the dishes and it's just starting to get stinky, or you take out the trash or clean up the apartment and you've been telling yourself and you don't do it. But if your mom told you to clean up the house when you go over for dinner, you're gonna do it, right? It's funny how that happens because it's so easy to not follow our own commands. And this is how we're gonna transition over into leadership right now, where to become an effective leader, you must become an effective follower by following 2 things. Number 1, following your own commands, and then following a leader that has what you want, and then becoming the best follower of that person. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share some material with you guys real quick. So I wanna share this with you, some characteristics of a leader. So this is from some material from Bob here. And so leaders are very observant. They're active listeners. When they receive a suggestion from a follower, right? When a leader receives a suggestion from a follower that has merit, they quickly investigate that idea. And when they determine the other person's idea is superior to their own, they reject their own leader, accept the other person's idea, and work with it as if it's their own. Always publicly giving the other person who originated the idea full credit. And so checking your ego as a leader. You see, remember, the way I see myself as a Bob Proctor consultant since the jump is I'm not really your guys' coach. Like, I guess you can call me a leader. Well, yes, I am a leader because I have 46 people on the call. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. But I don't really see myself as a coach. I see myself as an effective follower of Bob Proctor. I don't take the credit for any of this information. This information comes from Bob Proctor. I don't take credit for any of my clients' results because they're the ones that did the work, and who taught them? Bob Proctor. I don't take the results for, like, even my personal life. I did the actions, but it's the result of a leader, Bob Proctor's information, and God blessing me. So I don't take credit for any of this stuff, really. I just take credit for my own actions. That's the only thing I take credit for. See, I don't have an ego. A lot of the times, and I don't ever like mistake myself for that either. Like, I never take credit for my clients' results. They did the work. You see, I don't have an ego. A lot of times leaders have an ego. Do you have an ego right now? If somebody comes to you with a better idea, even if it's a sideline or a downline or one of your own followers, do you listen to them, or do you get your ego? Does your ego come up? Here's one thing that I run within my own organization with my team, with my sales leaders, and even my assistant is I am so open to suggestion. Like, I don't have this figured out. I'm still figuring out this company I'm building, the client services, all these different things here. Okay. And so the way I talk to my team is I'm like, hey guys, this is a collaboration. I'm not your boss. This is a collaboration. When we hop in a call, I'm completely open to suggestions, improvements. Even my clients, I had a client upset with me this weekend. You know, she was upset with a couple of things of expectations. I didn't set the right expectations with her. And so her expectations weren't in alignment with the way the company is in the program. And so I was open. At first, I was little like, you get a little defensive. Like, honestly, you get defensive, but then I check myself. Within like 2 minutes, I check myself. And I was like, you know what? She's right. Let me listen to what she has to say. And instead of being defensive, I went on the active listening, and I started to hear her out. I'm going to be having a call with her later today to understand her better. But instead of saying that, I was like, okay, she has a reason for feeling this way. Let me understand where she's coming from. And I heard her out. And even though like expectations weren't set the right way, I can still make improvements to my communication. I can still make improvements to client servicing. I can still make improvements of giving more than receiving. Because I don't have an ego. Do you have an ego? When somebody comes to you with a better idea to run your business, are you open to it? Whether it's sideline, a suggestion. Now, I'm not saying to accept an idea from a random stranger who has an opinion of you. I'm talking about somebody who has merit, somebody like a client that's paying you, a client that's you're servicing, one of your best followers, your leader, your sideline, somebody doing better than you and that you have respect for. I like this quote from Socrates. Socrates says this, and I'm going to repeat this, and I want you guys to really understand. Everybody pay attention, get off your Instagram, all that stuff, right? It's so easy to get distracted. Here's what Socrates says. Employ your time in improving yourself by other people's writings, so you shall come easily by what others have labored for. Let me repeat that because it's kind of weird. It's like Socrates speaks in not like normal English nowadays, but let me repeat that. Employ your time. So employ your time. Spend your time improving yourself by the writings of other people. But guess what? We're in a day of technology. You can go read a book You can go read a book. Like I got a couple books with me. I don't really read that much anymore. I watch videos and I hop into Bob Proctor's teachings. So being on the call like this, watching Bob Proctor videos, right? You want to study these people so you can come easily by the results of those that have come before you. You see, what is an effective leader? An effective leader is not somebody who's figuring it out on your own. Like, don't go out there and try to reinvent the wheel and figure it out on your own. This is more true if you're in network marketing. Like, why the hell are you going to go and reinvent the system? Look at the teachings of others. I would say in two major categories. One in the tactical and in one in the spiritual. Right now, I'm teaching you the spiritual. Like, I'm not going to teach you what DM to do to recruit 20 people. Like, I don't do that. Bob doesn't do that. He teaches you the spiritual, but then you do need the tactical. You do need to know the how-to. Like, I need somebody to teach me how to run my Facebook ads, build my funnels and my webinars and all this stuff. Like, I still need to know how to do that, right? So there's the two parts of that. So you will come easily by what others have labored for. Think about this. There is somebody like Bob Proctor who's invested 60 years of his life and compiles it into a book, compiles it into a 6-month program, compiles it into a YouTube video or whoever leader you're following. And you have to take the time to sit there, internalize what they're saying and implement it because that person has labored for all those years. You know, sometimes I get on a strategy call and somebody's like, yo, DeAndre, this program is expensive, because it's not. It costs thousands upon thousands of dollars. And they say, why is this so expensive? I just go watch YouTube videos. Go ahead. Then come to me 6 months later and tell me how your results are. You see, the reason people buy coaching, buy programs, buy a book is for a step-by-step system compiled by a mentor who has tenure and years of experience into one spot. Think about this. So how much information, let's just take Bob Proctor because he's the leader that I'm following right now. How much money do you think Bob Proctor has invested in himself over the last 60 years? Millions, probably, over seminars and events and mentors and coaching, right? So he took millions of dollars worth of coaching and years of experience, and he compiles it into a 6-month program worth a couple $1,000s. Or he compiles it into a $20 book, whatever you want to consume. Does it make sense then? I would. You see, whether I was selling Bob Proctor's program or not, I want you to realize I would still be talking about it. I would still be promoting it because I promote good products, no matter what. So when Socrates says, employ your time in improving yourself by other people's writings, so you shall come easily by what others have labored for. Develop in your own mind the belief and deep respect for your leader. This will help you develop the awareness of the importance in earning that from the followers when you become a leader. You see, if you do not push up your leader, your own leader, if you don't push up whoever you're following, guess what? They're not going to do it to you. The universe operates by laws. The number one law of laws is called the law of cause and effect. You see, if a person is failing, it's not because the laws are failing, it's because they don't know how to apply the laws. The laws never fail. Guess what? I am on the 28th floor of this building. If I drop something over the edge, it will fall. It's called the law of gravity. Whether I throw a sinner off this balcony or I throw a saint off this balcony, they will fall to the ground. That's called a law of gravity. Whether somebody wants to apply it for their benefit or not, it's completely up to them. You see, the laws of the universe, the laws of cause and effect, the law of attraction, law of vibration, law of gestation, law of gender, all these laws are just and always correct. It's the person's ability to apply these laws in a plan in a focused manner to get them the results that they want. You see, what is focus? Focus is taking a bunch of ideas that you have scattered and putting it into a focal point and giving your 100% energy to that one thought. That's what an idea is. An idea is an accumulation of thoughts. You have millions of thoughts throughout the day, right? But if you focus a good amount of those thoughts into one thing, it's called an idea. So when you're following this person, whoever you choose to follow, study their works. I was talking to my clients on a Thursday mastermind, and Bob talks about when you decide to follow somebody, follow that one person. Don't start scattering your ideas all over the place. Here's what most people do. Right? They're like, you know what? I like Joe Dispenza or Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks. All right. They start watching her YouTube videos for like 3 months. They buy a couple of her books. They might go to a seminar. They might buy a program, and they'll study Esther Hicks for 3 months, a month, 6 months. Right? And then they start following Joe Dispenza or Tony Robbins. And then they start following Tony Robbins for 3 months and 6 months. And what happens is this person's ideas are so scattered that they never get to the ultimate truth. You see, there's multiple ways you can get to the truth. Each leader, I'm talking about people here now, whether you follow Socrates or Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza, or whoever the hell you want to follow, they're all teaching the truth, all in their own separate ways. What the average ADD millennial does, and I say that because that was me, is we jump from leader to leader to leader. Go back through my Instagram and you can see every 6 months I was starting a new business. I was talking about something new. I was talking about Instagram. Then I was talking about Facebook ads, and then funnels, and then this and that. I was so scattered. You see, if you want to become an effective leader, become an effective follower of one or two people, or at least a lineage of people. You see, if I study Bob Proctor, it's the same as studying Earl Nightingale, who's the same as studying Napoleon Hill, who's the same as studying Andrew Carnegie. It's all the same lineage because they all study the same thing. If you follow Matt Rosa, it's because he follows Alex Morton, who follows Bob Proctor, who then follows everybody I just mentioned before. So you want to study people whose ideas are in the same lineage. Like, I don't know who mentored Tony Robbins. Oh, Tony Robbins followed Jim Rohn, right? So if you follow Tony Robbins, then you'll be following Jim Rohn, who followed Norman Vincent Peale, and so on and so forth. So study a lineage of people and dive deep into the material for years and years and years to then get to the truth. Y'all liking this or what? Drop a 7 in the chat. Y'all liking this, family? What's up, Instagram fam? I'm live on Zoom right now. You can go. Where can you go? I don't know. I'll drop it after the chat. I'm sorry. You guys are just gonna have to watch on Instagram. I don't have it anywhere. All right. Let's hop into it, guys. Let's hop into it. The effective leader maintains a good attitude regardless of what's going on outside. Guys, let me tell you, somebody say something if you fell for this one. Somebody say something, guys. And let me tell you, I fell for it this weekend. Let me repeat that line again. The effective leader maintains a good attitude. Don't say good, a great attitude. An effective leader maintains a great attitude regardless of what's going on outside. We have been conditioned. We have been conditioned as kids, since we were kids, to operate from the outside in. Actually, let me share this with you guys. So when you go to a Bob Proctor seminar, he gives you this little token. All right. So let's share on YouTube first, so you guys can see this really quickly on YouTube. You guys can see it here on Zoom. Okay, I'm gonna explain this here in a second, and then on Instagram. Sorry, it's not focusing. All right, so on this little coin, you guys can see here, he has, actually, let me get a pen. There you go. we have here, we have the stick figure that you guys are used to seeing. And then we have these two little boxes. The top box right here says present results. Okay, the top box here says present results. And what this is saying is people are looking at their present results and they're letting their present results form in their consciousness, right? They look at their situation. They look at their bank account and say, wow, I only have $500 in my bank account. Therefore, I am broke. Therefore, I feel like shit. They look at their business right now and they say, wow, my clients are upset right now. I only have 2 clients. I only have 2 people on my team. Therefore, I am not a good business person. Therefore, I am not an effective leader. Therefore, I'm not good enough for this. Therefore, this is not for me. And that idea that they're forming in their consciousness by looking at their outside world, they internalize that into their subconscious mind. Their subconscious mind controls 96% of your results. Your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. It's the mind that acts. It's the mind that made you sleep in this morning. It's the mind that had people decide not to be on today's call because they had something better to do. All right, and so you take this, and this idea that they just internalized is then emotionalized. And that emotion forms a vibration. Remember, feeling is a word that we invented to describe our conscious awareness of our vibration. Feeling is a word that we a word that we invented to describe our awareness of our vibration. So this vibration, right? You're feeling broke, you're feeling uneasy, then put your body in a feeling of anxiety, of worry, of doubt, of fear. And guess what? Then you go out there and you don't want to do anything. You don't want to prospect anymore. You don't want to talk to your clients. You start feeling down on yourself and you start just going through this emotional roller coaster. And then the rest of the day just follows suit. That guy blocks you off. A new bill pops up. Another client hits you up. Another person quits the business. Another person asks for a refund. And then you just go down, down, down. How did that happen? You see, the effective leader maintains a great attitude regardless of what's going on outside of them. They realize that a great leader realizes that they are a creator. We are all creators. It's your it's your awareness level that determines if you believe that or not. Remember, I got it tatted on me right here. Seek awareness, to always remind myself to seek awareness. And the more you seek awareness, the more you will realize the true power within you. You realize that you are a creator. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. You see, the effective leader creates from the inside out. It sounds, in the normal world, it sounds weird to create your world from the inside out, because the average person, go tell them that in the street and they will look at you sideways. We live in a thought universe. Everything is created by thought. Think about this. I have too much cameras and shit. I'm looking at downtown right now. There's a bunch of condos and apartments going up in Miami right now. I'm looking at all this freaking shit. Like, it's everywhere. It's so complex. They got like cranes and pallets and like 20 or 100 people working on this building. Guess what? That entire building was built with a thought. Somebody was like, you know what? Let's build an apartment. Then they started formulating ideas. They hired an architect. The architect started thinking about this. He got it on paper, on a blueprint. And then he took it to the foreman. He's like, let's create. Everything around you, the phone you're using, was formed in a thought. We live in a thought universe. Therefore, use your thoughts to create that which you want, not that which you don't want. When you let your present situation dictate your next move, I feel sorry for you guys. It's going to be a difficult world. It's going to be a difficult life. How do you do this? How do you actually do this? Well, first of all, you got to realize that you can create. I guess that's law number one, or part number one. You got to realize that you can create. You got to be in the right mindset as well, right? Focusing on that gratitude and making sure that you're in the right mental state. Here's how you create. Here's how you create from the inside out. You have to plant in the deep recesses of your subconscious mind the situation that you want. Earl Nightingale says that the mind is the most fertile substance in the world. He says you can compare the mind to the earth, to the land. You see, if a farmer goes and plants in the fertile soil corn, a seed of corn, and he tenders it, waters it, gives it attention, that land will bear the fruits of the corn which will nourish the body of his families. In that same land, he can plant nightshade, which is a deadly poison, and he tenders it and waters it. Literally 2 feet away, he can plant this nightshade, which will kill. He says the mind is a great mystery of the world. And the mind is thousands of times more fertile than the land. Because think about this. Over the thousands of years that us humans have been here, look at all that we have created from the mind. Major cities, waterways, technology, internet, phone, globalization, all created from the mind. The most powerful substance in the world. You see, so now what you're going to do is you're going to plant the image of the situation that you want into your subconscious mind. Got my little stick figure here. All right, got my little stick figure here. So here you are. Here's your 5 senses. Here's how most people have been operating their life. Okay? You have see, smell, taste, touch, all that kind of good stuff. We have 2 parts of our mind, our conscious mind, our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is our thinking mind. It's the mind you're using right now to listen to me. Then you have your subconscious mind. It's your emotional mind. It's your feeling mind. It's the mind that controls all the memories, all the feelings, your paradigm, all that stuff. And then you have your body. It's your body. Okay? So here you are. Here's what most people are doing. They look at the outside situation. They register it in their conscious mind. They say, I am not a good leader. I am broke. My bills are due, or whatever the hell their situation is. They get emotionally involved, puts their body in a bad vibration, which then gets more by everything that's on this, the vibration of this person's body, they will attract. It's called the law of attraction. You will attract everything that's on your frequency. So here you are. You're wanting to create a different environment. I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $100,000 a year. I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $100,000 a month. By the way, it takes the same energy to earn $100,000 a year than $100,000 a month. It's your belief level that determines which one you're going to get. Okay? So I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $100,000 a month. But this person's outside environment does not look like that. Like you're sleeping in your car. You're broke. You're driving a beat up Honda. You have 2 people on your team, and you're talking about $100,000 a month. You're a creator. Yes, you are. And yes, you will have it. As soon as you declare it with your mouth, it is yours in the spiritual world. I've been studying the Bible a lot lately, and don't quote me, but I love this line where it says the Father knows what we say before we even say it, because we got to think the thought first. So he knows what our prayers are before we say it. And that is amazing. I love that line, because we are creators. So here you are. You say, I earn $100,000 a month. And you take your imagination, right? The imagination is a faculty that we have to tap into the spiritual world, right? We create in the spiritual world with our imagination, and we bring it down to the physical world. That faculty is called imagination, right? So here we are in our consciousness, creating the idea of what we want. We're creating our dream car. We're creating our dream apartment. We're creating our dream situation, our dream team, our dream business. And then what we have to do, here's the important part. Here's where most people fail. is they don't transfer that imagination down to the subconscious mind, the one that controls your vibration, the one that controls everything you attract into your life. The subconscious mind understands two languages: images and emotion. Images and emotion. Okay? So here you are. You're going to plant this image that you just created in your imagination into your subconscious mind. You want to make this a ritual. Like I have a little couch here, but I just ordered a hammock for my balcony. So I'm overlooking the city. So I'm going to have a little hammock. That's going to be my creative space. I'm going to go on my hammock and I'm going to plant the image into my subconscious mind. And I'm going to, here's what I do. Do it in the whatever way you want. This is your ability to create. I like to put on some Native American flute music. Like I just like it better than just like binaural beats or like meditation music. I like the flute music from like Native Americans. So I'll play that and I'll sit and I'll get centered, right? First of all, I get centered. And then I start bringing this image of what I want, and I start living that image. You see, the subconscious mind does not have the ability to reject any idea. It will accept every idea that you impress upon it. It will accept every idea that you impress upon it. So if you're sitting here and in your mind, you're driving a Ferrari, guess what? Your subconscious mind does not understand that you're lying to it. And it will believe you're driving a Ferrari, and you'll be on the vibration of that Ferrari. Do that long enough, consistently enough, and you will have a Ferrari faster than you will believe. That's what I did to go from just meeting Bob to within 45 days later having my first 6-figure month. Like tell me about that. How did I do that? Think about this. Within 45 days, or not, okay, don't put a time frame in it, but within 6 to 12 months, you can be at the 6-figure level. At some business, if not in one, then another. It's your belief level that controls that, all right? So here you are. And in this visualization, you are living that dream. However long you want to live that dream, it's up to you. Like there's no time frame. Like I don't know. I just play the music, and when I feel like I'm good, I'm good. Right? 5 minutes, 20 minutes, it's up to you. And you have to do this consistently. You got to do this consistently. You see, I had a client, the one that was upset this weekend, right? And she's telling me, DeAndre, I've been in the program for 3 months and I'm not getting results. You said I was going to get results. First of all, I don't promise any results. You control your results. How the hell do I know if you're doing your visualizations? How the hell do I know if you're doing your goal card? We give you the tools. We put a jersey on you. You got to do the studies. But guess what? If she hasn't been getting the results, I can already know what's going on. She's first of all, she's focusing on what she doesn't want. That's right off the bat. And the second thing, she probably hasn't been planting the image of what she wants. She's probably been looking at the outside world, and it's been controlling her state. And what she's doing is she's looking at the outside world and saying, oh, my team's not growing. My team's not growing. She gets emotionally involved in her team not growing, and then she has to blame somebody. She has to blame some situation to validate that. That's not how it works. Remember, the laws work 100% of the time when you apply them. It's your application of the laws is whether you're going to get results or not. If the results aren't in your favor, it's because you're not properly applying the laws. She probably, maybe she doesn't have a goal card. Maybe she does or she doesn't. Does she have a gold card in her pocket? You know? But that's okay. That's what we're here for. That's why we continue to seek awareness. It's okay to be, I mean, she's upset. But then, you know what? Let's continue to grow. Let's continue to seek awareness, and let's get on the right track. I was listening to Bob Proctor. I just got the little Alexa. the little Alexa. One of my clients said to try out Alexa, so I bought that little Alexa. It's pretty cool. I said, hey, she's listening to me right now. I was like, hey Alexa, play Bob Proctor, and she started playing some Bob Proctor. I was like, yo, this is dope. But I was listening to Bob Proctor, and he said something. I could tell it was from back in the days. I could tell in his voice he was a lot younger, maybe like 20, 30 years ago. And he says that it right now in your current situation, it doesn't matter where you're at right now. It does not matter where you're at right now. Just know that you can create moving forward. You can create a whole new world, living a whole new situation moving forward. And it doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to take a long time. And I knew it'd be fast. You have to, if you believe that your life will change fast, it will change fast. 6 months ago, was it? Yeah, it's halfway through the year now. 6 months ago, on New Year's Day, when everybody was celebrating this New Year's, last New Year's, 6 months ago, when everybody was celebrating, I was out, I had my Lyft app on, driving my grandparents' Honda, and I was picking people up from the bars. That's what I was doing on New Year's. 6 months later, I'm on the 28th floor, moved into a new apartment, driving a supercar Nissan GTR. It's not leased. It's 10,000 miles on it, brand new, freaking whip. It's a fast freaking car. And I have tens upon tens of thousands of dollars saved up. 6 months. 6 months. Picking some people up for Lyft to make $100 to 6 months later, that happened. If it happens to me, it happens to you. It can happen to you. It can happen to you. It's your belief level. I'm not bragging. If you think this is bragging, you got to check yourself. Check yourself. Like, or maybe we're just not in alignment, you know, maybe find somebody else. But like, yo, if I know somebody else that did that shit, I want to hang out with that person. Tell me everything you got. Like, whatever you did, bro, like, and you can call me and you can message me on Instagram. I'll be hanging out with that person. I'm not bragging here. I'm sharing facts that if I can do it, you can do it. I have the same information. I have the same mentor as you guys. Oh shit. There's some lightning just came down and hit this building right here. That's pretty cool. It's dope, guys. Your belief level and how fast you can change your situation. If you believe that you will make 10,000 this month, guess what? You will make 10,000 this month. Come hell or high water, you will do it. It's up to you guys. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, guys. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value from that. Drop a 7 in the chat if you learned something new today. Drop a 7 in the chat if you learned something new today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, guys. So, Peter, are you still here? Okay. Hey, guys. So let me see. We're going to transition over to a mastermind. If you're new on the call, let me post a link to today's to the Telegram group. Okay, so if you're new to today's call, here's the Telegram group. I do these calls every single Monday. Okay, there's the Telegram group. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one call with me, so here's what I do. So as a Bob Proctor consultant, what I do and how I make a living and how I earn my money is I offer Bob Proctor's 6-month program called Thinking into Results. By the way, everything I'm sharing with you guys is from the program and Bob. Like, this is not my information, okay? So what I do is I offer this 6-month program to people, okay? I have a few of my clients on the call. I saw them on right now. Some of you have been on the one-on-one session. So what I do at the end of the call is I offer a one-on-one clarity call, okay? Here's what I do in the clarity call. The clarity call is not to sell you. The clarity call is not to offer you the program. The clarity call is to see what's in your paradigm right now. What's in your subconscious mind? What are your current blockages? What are the things that need to happen in your life? All right. Then we start to formulate a game plan. We start to see where do you want to be 6 months from now? Or sorry, 12 months from now? Where do you want to be in 6 months? How much do you want to earn? Where do you want to be living? We start creating. I start bringing out the imagination. Everything I talked about. We start doing this on this. It's about a 40 minute call. It's a free call, by the way. I don't charge for the call. Okay. And if I feel like you're a good fit to work with Bob, then I tell you more about the program. If you ask for it, if you don't ask for the program, then that's it. But if you got value from that, that's good. But most of the time, people want to learn more about Bob and the program and everything. And I'll tell you more about it, how it works, the pricing, the payment options. And I'm here and I'm flexible to help you work with Bob. Okay. So if you guys want to book that call with me before we hop into the mastermind, I'll put the link in the chat right now. Manifest moneymastery.com/call. All right, so here's my calendar. Okay, I just typed it in the chat right there. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna transition for the next, say, 20 minutes or so to a mastermind. Here's what we're gonna do for the mastermind. Okay, is you're going to go on participants, click on participants, and there's a section where you can raise your hand. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna answer your guys' questions. So mastermind, another word for that is Q&A. Okay, we'll do a Q&A right now. Click on participants, raise your hand, and I'll go ahead and I'll unmute you and get your questions answered. Okay, here's the proper link. All right. All right, we have any questions? Any questions, guys? Nobody has any questions? This is your time to get a free, I guess you could say coaching session. All right, guys, I'm gonna give it another 30 seconds here. If anybody has any questions, click on participant. Andrew. What's up, Andrew? I unmuted you.
Hello, hello.
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored like every day, man. I'm excited to be out here.
Sheesh. Love it. Yeah, it was participants in question time. No one wanted to do it. So I said, you know what? It's been a week or two since I had Mr. Patron. A little question. I would just honestly start off by saying thank you. But second of all, the question would be, now you being in Miami, how have you, so let's rephrase that. Now that you're in Miami compared to Colombia, that C-type goal hasn't changed, of course, but where do you see that you have grown since then?
Yeah.
Those 1 week, it's been what, 1 week, 2 weeks that you've been in Miami?
Yeah, about 2 weeks. Today's like the first day, like I'm back to work. Like I'm back to work today.
Right.
Where I'm growing right now is in my leadership. And there's a concept called leaving everybody with the impression of increase. Okay. So one of the things I'm working on is my client servicing. So helping my clients through the program a lot better. So in that aspect, in order to do that, you have to give more than you receive. So right now, and I was writing down, is giving more than I receive. So I'm just like analyzing and seeing how I can do that more. So that's an area in which I'm growing on right now, is giving more than I receive. Giving, and here Bob says, giving more than what you're paid for. So my clients pay me, a certain amount, and then
Right.
how can I give them more, way more, 10 times more in value than what they pay me? So that's one area and that's what I've been working on over the last 24 hours. But other than that, a big challenge I went through was like the whole moving situation. It's so important to be in the right environment to grow, right? If you're not in a good environment, get in a good environment.
Right.
Get yourself in a good environment. Like when I was I couldn't have done this sleeping on my grandparents' couch. Like I was sleeping on my grandparents' couch for 4 months up until March of this year. I was sleeping on my grandparents' couch. I could not have done anything on my grandparents' couch. Like it was a time where I was there, but I couldn't have gotten anything done on my grandparents' couch. When I was in my hotel over the last week, I couldn't get anything done as well. I didn't have a spot. I didn't have a routine. Like I couldn't get anything done. When I was looking for a car and getting that situated and getting my apartment, getting that, like my mind was on everything except business.
Right.
Because of that, my emotional state in my business didn't grow as big as I wanted to. So now I realize that your environment is so important, that continual study, continual daily study is so important, because when you are deep into your studies, you're able to really vibe check yourself. You got to be able to vibe check yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So that's basically
and by doing that, you meaning by like rewriting your goal, or just having that goal card on you and just, you know, that quick vibe check?
No, I mean, I still have my goal card on me, but I would still feel up and down emotionally. So first thing in the morning is like, you got to get centered. That's another word, getting centered. Like when you study, when you put an hour, when you dedicate an hour of your day to study, and you study and you dive into some deep thoughts, you become centered. When you do your gratitude in the morning, you become centered. When you pray for guidance from God in the morning, you are centered. When you ask the Holy Spirit to fill you and guide you and communicate with you, aka your intuition, you're centered. And when you're not centered, you just go down this weird roller coaster. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. That answered the question perfectly.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Miami Patron. Feel free to send me a message. For whatever reason, if you guys can't book a call with me, if you have any questions about like the program, a call, just message me on Instagram as well. I check all my Instagram messages throughout the day. So just message me on Instagram at Miami Patron. Do you become centered through meditation or through study? Both. Meditation and study, yeah. Yeah, you do both. Because study grows your awareness. Study grows your awareness, but the actual meditation is how you plant it, and that's how you actually apply what you study. Got it? Any other questions, guys? Dan, the lightning is coming down. Like I'm seeing the lightning come and touch the buildings in front of me. That's just pretty crazy. All right, guys. So I'm gonna give it another 10 seconds here. Raise your hand, or just type the question in the chat box. Okay. Is there a right or specific way to meditate? To be honest, I'm not an expert on meditations. I just do my visualizations based on what Bob teaches. Like I just mentioned earlier in the call, I'll sit in my quiet spot and I'll bring the image of what I want, get emotionally involved with it, and I'll do it 3 to 4 times a day. Or I used to. I'm getting back into it. And I'll do that. It's real simple. Taylor, go ahead, Taylor.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great morning, or I guess it's afternoon now. DeAndre, I wanted to ask you, okay, so at times when, you know, how you discuss like in your business, it feels a little stagnant, but you're still practicing being in the state of being more than the doing. I feel like I found myself in this like hustle mode where I was chasing after, you know, the results more so than being present in the process now, and being consistent with what I'm supposed to be doing, like studying and personal development. I wanted to ask you, like, I don't know, because I remember when you brought up, you know, you felt like you were not really doing anything when, you know, you were focused on other stuff. Does that make sense? Like being focused on the being instead of the doing, and how far does that really take you at times when you feel stagnant in the doing process?
Yeah, so you have to understand there's a delay time between when you are when you're getting on the vibration of that which you want. We don't want to be stuck in the doing part, because we don't. It's a weird vibe. Like I'm still studying this, like this relationship. So there's a relationship between attracting and action. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's been programmed, like the whole Gary Vee culture, and there's nothing wrong with it. They're all about act. Like I was looking for some wall art, you know, for my apartment, and all these ones were like, you know, action taker, hustler. I'm like, I don't want to, like, yeah, I guess you can call me a hustler, but I don't want to hustle my way to the top. I want to
Right.
ease my way to the top, right? So you plant the images, right? You do the meditations. Don't mistake the meditations as work, by the way. Like that's not my work. Like my work is running this call. My work is doing strategy sessions. My work is running my ads. Like that's my work. So those visualization stuff, like, might take me an hour throughout the day, maybe broken up into like 20-minute sections. Like that's the being part and feeling part, but then I still go out and do the work. But
Right.
I do the work from my goal, not to my goal.
Okay.
What I mean by that. So right now, my goal is to get to the $500,000 a month mark. Okay, $500,000 a month. I want to attract $500,000 a month. And I want to do that with my Facebook ads, my Instagram ads, and my whole system, okay? So when I create my videos and when I'm creating my system, I'm not going to create it to earn $500,000 a month. I'm already earning $500,000 a month, and I create downwards. Okay, so when you're acting and you're acting throughout the day, you're going to act from your goal. You're already there, and you work backwards. You don't work to your goal. So if your goal is to be a chairman 10 or to be a successful trader, start acting, thinking, and doing as a six-figure trader and work down. Don't work towards a six-figure trader, because if you work towards it, first of all, there's a distance between you and the goal. And number two, you're not acting like that person. So you want to track what they have. Does that make sense? Oh, I muted you. All right, yeah. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense. And it's just because at times, you know, when it's the time catching up, because I feel good. I feel like I'm on the right path. Like my mindset is good. The more that I study like the guide, and meditating has really been helping with just like when you figure out what meditating is, like it's a state of metacognition where you're literally evaluating your thoughts instead of, you know, becoming your thoughts. So I feel like I'm on the right path, and it's just like the results that are catching up, because I feel like, you know, after a long time of not doing that, we may be experiencing the results of who we used to be. And now like the compounded effort of what we're putting in on a daily basis it's getting there. Like it just has to catch up. So at times it's just kind of like, okay, am I doing the right thing? Because I feel good and like I feel like I'm doing the right thing. It's just the results aren't here yet.
Yeah. So two things are coming to my mind. First of all, you have to understand that once you declare it's yours in the spiritual world, it's already yours, and you have to expect for it to come. All right. So that's step number one. Step number two, there's a law of gestation where there's the delay time. Right? When you plant a seed of corn or whatever, it doesn't sprout in 60 days. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe with GMOs and shit, it probably does. But there's a time between when you plant the seed and when it harvests. Okay? That time is different for each person. But you have to maintain faith during that time. What do I mean by that? A lot of people, all of you have met me over the last 6 months. None of you have known me from 19 to, I'm 24 now. I just turned 24 in January, end of January. So from 19 to 24, for 5 years, I struggled as an entrepreneur, making on average, less than $3,000 a month, less than $2,000 a month, sorry. For 5 years, I averaged less than $2,000 a month. That was my planting period. That was my harvesting period. Most people would have quit and went to a job and gave up on entrepreneurship. Right? And then some people, they start a business in 60 days in, 90 days in, 3 months in, 6 months in, they want to quit. All right? I wasn't an overnight success. It looked like it for people that just met me, but I've been at this for 5 years. Look at my YouTube videos when I was 19. I was putting out YouTube videos at 19 talking about life insurance and shit, you know, because I was selling life insurance for 2 years. Okay? So Taylor, just know that, just keep growing your awareness, keep studying Bob Proctor, you're in the programs, keep studying the program, really internalize this information. Like more than ever, seek awareness and seek understanding. More than ever, do your 1 hours of study. Maybe on tonight's call, our client call, I'll do like a checklist of stuff, you know, like make sure you're going through your checklist, having your goal card on you at all times, making sure you're doing your gratitude, making sure make sure you're doing your hours of study, make sure you're, you know, all this stuff. So keep in your studies, keep believing it's yours already. It's already yours. Have the expectation. Another thing is expecting it to be there and for it to be or already be yours. Like for example, I already know I'm earning $500,000 a month. I get so excited that I'm earning $500,000 a month. I'm thinking about what's the next step. How many people am I employing? How much are my sales leaders earning per month? Where are we traveling to? What are my clients doing? Man, I just get it so excited because I already know it's here. So you have to bring that excitement level towards your goal as well, Taylor. Got it? All right. All right. Any other questions, guys? All righty. So I'm going to post my Instagram, guys. If you want to message me privately for whatever reason, if you have questions, I want to know more about the program, a one-on-one clarity call with me, you can message me on Instagram. Or if you want to directly book a one-on-one call with me, I will put that in the chat as well. All right, I just put that in the chat as well. All right, so you have my Instagram now, you have my calendar. Without further ado, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. This was on Facebook, so if you want to share it on Facebook, the YouTube video will be up later today. The recording will be on my YouTube channel, and then we go from there. And then you'll see these little snippets on my Instagram. So I have a content creator who takes this entire call, chops it up into 60-second videos, puts the captions on it, the red bars. If you guys want that guy, he has really good rates. He's from Venezuela. Really, really cool. All right, guys. So without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.